What's going on, guys? Aero here. Guys, today I want to talk to you a little more about Nintendo's newest system, the Nintendo Switch. So here I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about the sales for the Nintendo Switch, how the Nintendo Switch is doing, and then I also want to talk to you guys about my vision and my dream for the Nintendo Switch and how I want to see the future of the system be like. So hopefully you guys are excited, and let's get started. Now, if you guys haven't been keeping up to date with the sales for the Nintendo Switch, I'll have you guys know right now that the Nintendo Switch is killing it worldwide. And I know so many people are having their doubts about the Nintendo Switch. They're saying like it's just Nintendo being Nintendo. It's like a weird system. It's not like a traditional home console. Nintendo isn't learning their lessons. The Switch is going to fail. And I think right now people are definitely saying that they were pretty wrong about how they thought about the Switch. And even the president of the Pokemon company thought that the Nintendo Switch wasn't going to be that successful of a system as well. And if you guys didn't know about that, I'll have like that article on screen for you guys right now. And so it was just really weird how people had such different thoughts about the Switch. I thought that it was going to be a pretty good system right from the start. When I saw it, I figured like it makes so much sense, like how in our lives now we have so much stuff to do. There's so many like things that people have to do, and having a system where you could play it on the go and having a system where you can play it in your house is just going to be really useful. And I think that's what I thought. Like I figured a lot of people would have the same thoughts as me. Like if you're busy, you're always traveling, you can have your game system with you there. But other people, I can also see where they were saying, like with the president of the Pokemon company, he was saying like there's no point in having a system where you could take it on the go. If you have your phone with you, if you have your tablet, why do you need to take a Switch with you as well? Like why would you have to need an iPhone, an iPad, and then also have your Nintendo Switch? Like it just doesn't make sense to carry all of that. And so I could definitely see why people were saying that. Like that's why the Nintendo Switch wasn't going to do that well. But guys, the Nintendo Switch has been killing it right from the start. Now the weird thing about the Nintendo Switch was Nintendo had like an initial shipment that came out to like all the stores and all the places that they were selling it when the system launched in March. And I think that they said they wanted to sell like 2 million units by the end of March. Now I don't know if that meant that they only made 2 million units for like that initial like launch, but I know that they all sold out really fast. And if you guys weren't able to get a Nintendo Switch on launch day, or if you went to a store on launch day, it was very hard for you to be able to find a Switch throughout that entire month of March, as pretty much all of the shipments were done, and then the next shipment of Nintendo Switches wasn't going to come out till April with like Mario Kart Deluxe and all of that. So that's pretty much what Nintendo has been doing. They've pretty much been giving out new shipments of Nintendo Switches every single month. Like in the beginning of every month, they would send out a whole bunch of Nintendo Switches to different stores and stuff like that. But I know at that point, like people, it became very hard for people who wanted to buy a Nintendo Switch, especially in the beginning. I know like so many people would like tweet pictures and send me pictures of them going to stores and stuff, and like the whole entire aisle for like Nintendo or like the glass where like they would have the systems, it would just be empty and there'd be empty shelves because all of the systems would sell out. So I can definitely understand people were so frustrated because they had the money and they were like, Nintendo, I have my $300, I'm ready to spend my money on the system, but you guys can't supply them. And I know that that's really a big problem for a lot of people, but I think right now the Nintendo Switch has actually been doing well with the stock. I think that the shortages are pretty much over for the Switch, as I know so many people have been posting pictures. I've been seeing pictures on Twitter as well where like people are like looking at their local Target, their local Best Buy, and there seems to be like 30 to 40 Nintendo Switch consoles that are all in the same store. So it looks like that the shortages are coming to an end now, as the Nintendo is being able to give out more systems. So that's really good. I know that that was a problem and people weren't able to buy them, and I think that that's a really good thing. And the one thing that I want to talk to you guys about is a recent article that I'll have it on screen for you guys right now. And yeah, it's basically about how Nintendo is upping their production for Nintendo Switches to give out 2 million Nintendo Switch consoles every single month. And I think that this is going to be really huge, and the fact that they're doing this now is the best move for Nintendo to make. And this is really big because next month, November, is one of the biggest shopping seasons in the entire country. Like everyone knows, like, you know, you've got Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Christmas, it's all going to be coming up real soon. And so you guys know right now that if anyone is a Nintendo fan, and if their kids, or like if you just can't have a job, or if you aren't able to make money, then you know that every single person is going to want a Nintendo Switch. That's just like Nintendo's hottest system right now. It's the product that every single Nintendo fan wants. And so that's why it's really important for Nintendo to be able to make sure that there's a lot of Nintendo Switches out there so that people are actually able to buy them. Because the last thing you want is having a whole bunch of kids who want a Nintendo Switch for Christmas, but having no one be able to find them and give them to the kids as a gift, because that would make Nintendo lose so many sales. And that's going to be really good. If 2 million systems are being shipped every single month, that's going to be really good for this holiday shopping season, especially with a lot of people who are going to be wanting wanting to play the next Zelda, who are going to be wanting to play Super Mario Odyssey and Splatoon 2, I think that Nintendo is just going to do really well this year. And so that's really good. I mean, the holiday season is going to be huge for Nintendo, especially with this new Nintendo Switch system. Also, the SNES Classic, I know that system has been doing well. And so that's also one other thing. I haven't been able to get my SNES Classic. I've really wanted to get one, but yeah, every time I go to a store, it's always sold out. So hopefully if they can get more shipments of that, I'll be able to get one of those as well. But yeah, the Nintendo Switch is doing really well right now. But now I want to talk to you guys a little bit about the future of the Nintendo Switch. Now, before we get started, I do want to let you guys know that everything that I'm saying right now is just my thoughts and my opinion on how I want to see the future of the Nintendo Switch be like. So if you guys have different thoughts on how you want to see the Switch be like, then definitely be sure to comment them down below. But this is just sort of how I want to see it play out. Now, as for how I want to see the future of the Nintendo Switch be like, I actually really want to see it be replicated with exactly what Nintendo did with the Nintendo 3DS. And by that, I mean create 2 more models that come after the Nintendo Switch. And I'll go into detail about what I mean by that in a second, but the first thing that I want to let you guys know is I think we can all agree on the fact that the Nintendo Switch right now is pretty expensive. And I think that that's just a given. I mean, a lot of people, I'm pretty sure, don't just have $300 lying around in their house and are easily able to buy the next new Nintendo system if they just want to be able to play a new game. I mean, you really have to work for it. I know so many of my friends had to do so many extra chores, or like had to work really hard at some other places just so that they could get the money to be able to buy a Nintendo Switch. I had to work really hard as well so that I could be able to get the money to buy a Nintendo Switch as well. I really wanted to get it on day one, so it's a very hard system to get right now, as it's a pretty expensive system and it's very demanding right now as well. So many people want to be able to play the next new Zelda and Splatoon 2 and Mario Odyssey in a few weeks. So it's a very good system, but I think we can all agree that it is pretty expensive. So what I want to see is, for the future of the Nintendo Switch, I actually want to see 2 more models that come out in like a year or 2, and I want to see one model be a very affordable model. And this is exactly what I meant by how I want to see it be replicated with the 3DS. As like how when the Nintendo 3DS came out, the first model, the very first Nintendo 3DS, that model is like the basic model for the Nintendo 3DS. That's like the model that's right there in the middle. Then they created a more affordable option, being the Nintendo 2DS. So that's what I want to see with the Nintendo Switch as well. And I know so many people were saying maybe they could make like a Nintendo Switch Mini, and I could see that as well, like a Nintendo Switch that's even smaller than the Switch that we have currently, and it could come with like a mini dock or something like that. I think that that would make a lot of sense. Or also another thing that I know some people were saying is maybe just sell the Nintendo Switch alone and don't sell the dock with it, because that would save some good money as well. You won't have to give like a charging port or anything like that with the dock. They could just give like a USB cable with the system, the Joy-Cons, and then the tablet, and you're good to go. So that could be a good option as well. But that's what I want to see with like the Nintendo Switch in the future. I want to see a more affordable option, so that way it could make people who still want to play the next new Nintendo Switch games, or like the next new Nintendo games, but don't have the money to be able to buy a Nintendo Switch right away, then they could still buy like a cheap option as well. Maybe this one could be like $220, $230, so that way you're still saving like $70 to $80, and that way it's easier for some people who want to be able to buy a Nintendo Switch and want to be able to play Mario Odyssey and all of that. You can still do so. And that's exactly what they did with the 2DS. Like, I know after that was like when Pokemon X and Y were coming out, and so many people wanted to play the next new generation of Pokemon, but they didn't want to spend like $200 on getting a Nintendo 3DS. So that way you would be able to spend like $80, $90 and be able to get a 2DS and still be able to experience the same game. And with Pokemon coming out on the Nintendo Switch, that could be a very good option, as you guys know very well that there's a lot of Pokemon fans out there, and so many people would love to play on the Nintendo Switch, so having a cheap, affordable option would be really good for the Nintendo Switch. So yeah, by having the Nintendo Switch and then having the Nintendo Switch Mini, it's definitely going to open the door for many more people to be able to buy a Nintendo Switch, as that's going to be a much more affordable option, and so many people are going to be able to buy that now and still be able to play all of the latest games that are coming on the Nintendo Switch. Now, I'm also sure that some of you guys know that they actually released a better version of the Nintendo 3DS as well, being the new Nintendo 3DS. And so that was like a more powerful 3DS. It came with like a control stick on the other side. It had built-in NFC support. It was just more powerful. It had more specs, so I would definitely want to see something like that be done with the Nintendo Switch also, and I'm praying right now that they don't name it the new Nintendo Switch, but I hope that they come up with some better name, and I do want to see something like that come out in the future for the Nintendo Switch, as I'm definitely going to be buying that, and I still think that it would just be very good. Like, this could be targeted towards like the hardcore gamers who want like more power on their systems. Maybe that Nintendo Switch could have more battery life, it could have more specs, so maybe it could run 1080p 60 FPS like easily, and it wouldn't have to be 900p. I think maybe the screen could be 1080p as well. I think that that would be much better for the hardcore gamers to have a system like that. Now that could be expensive, maybe it could be $399.99, it could be like a $400 system, but having something like that would also be really cool. So that's what I want to see for the future of the Nintendo Switch. I want to see something like that where the Nintendo Switch that we have currently, that's like the middle option, just like how it was with the 3DS when that first came out. Then I want to see a more affordable option be given with like a Nintendo Switch Mini or a Nintendo Switch without the dock or something like that. So that's easy for the people who still want to play Nintendo Switch games but don't have a lot of money. That's going to be good for them. And then I want to see like a hardcore version come out for the Nintendo Switch as well, which could have more specs, more battery life, and that could be much more expensive than the Switch that we currently have. So that's what I want to see for the future of the Switch. I think that that would be really good, and Nintendo has done stuff like this in the past, and I know they haven't done this with the Wii U, as we all know that Wii U wasn't selling that well, so it just wouldn't have made that much sense. But they did that with the Wii as well. They came out with the Wii, and then they had the Wii Mini. So obviously I'm sure they're going to do something like this with the Nintendo Switch, so I hope that they do something like that. I really want to see the Nintendo Switch have many more options rather than just having the Nintendo Switch that we currently have. And so yeah, that's what I want to see for the future of the Nintendo Switch, and also how the Nintendo Switch is just doing really well right now. If you guys enjoyed this video, then please be sure to click that like button, and also be sure to comment down below on how you guys feel about the Nintendo Switch right now. Are you guys happy by all the production that's been happening? And also let me know what you guys want to see for the future of the Nintendo Switch. How do you guys want to see the system be like in the future? Leave me all of your thoughts down below. If you're new to this channel, then please be sure to subscribe. I'm definitely going to have some more Nintendo content in the future, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on that. Go follow me on Twitter at @Aero if you ever want to tweet me something or ask me something. I'm usually able to reply to everyone on Twitter, so definitely go and follow me there. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching.